Hi everyone, welcome to my channel DevOps Brains. Today we are going to see what is Azure DevOps and what are the features we have in Azure DevOps providing by Microsoft today. Let me explain before going in depth what is basically Azure DevOps. So let us consider this is a Azure DevOps basically. So by definition, if you go, Azure DevOps is a Microsoft server which provides us capabilities of DevOps like to build, to deploy, to organize our code. We have Azure DevOps as a server, as a global server, I can say. So let's see what we have in Azure DevOps. Basically, we have Azure DevOps which deals with two things. Let's see what are those. The first one is CI, which means a continuous integration of your code. And the second one is continuous deployment, which is CD will call. So it will be exactly continuous deployment. So basically, what is build and what is deployment? The build is like whatever the source code which we write in our local, which will be builded in a server. Just like Azure DevOps is our basic server here. So we will use Azure DevOps to run our build basically in this. So and the CD is for deploying our resources to the target environments, which are either Azure, AWS, or any on-premises servers. We can say example like what are those basically. Azure is a cloud and AWS we have today. We have the features capability for GCP also, which will be like Google Cloud Platform, and we can deploy to our on-premises servers also if you want. Based on our targets, we'll use our CD. The CI will undergoes multiple languages which are we have today. We have capabilities of our in ADO is Java, Python, Maven, Gradle, and we can say .NET and Silverlight. We have these are the common platforms which can be built in our Azure DevOps nowadays, which was provided by Microsoft today with all the updated feature. So in Azure DevOps, we have more than CI/CD. We have so many features we can say. Like if we like, what are the features we have is the first one we can say like the one which we basically use daily is Azure boards. If we open the Azure DevOps, we'll have first one is Azure boards, and the next one will be pipelines, which we'll use for CI/CD purposes, which I explained before. Pipelines is one more, and what else we have? Repos, which are Azure inbuilt repos, we can call, which we'll call as repos, and we have releases. The releases are like classic platform, I can say, which will be like releases in our Azure DevOps. We call that releases, artifacts. We can say artifacts. As I said, releases classic. Why classic and normal? What is classic and what is normal? If we go in case of CI, which I said before, let's see in depth somewhat. Which I said CI is just a continuous integration of your code from your local to your DevOps server. So in CI we have two types. We can do CI in two ways, not two types. It's just like a two ways. We can say one is AML, which is which will be called as pipeline as a code, and the next one will be like classic. Classic is just an UI where you can choose whatever you want, which are ready made, I can say, to be frank. So everything is set up ready made, just we'll do the configurations inside that. Just a basic configuration changes will make your pipeline ready in classic way. But most recommended way of pipeline construction is AML, I can say. So nowadays the only thing which is in Azure DevOps, which everyone will be confidently using, is AML. Why? If we say only this one is using today, and you need to have a doubt like why only YAML, not as a classic? Because YAML is a pipeline as a code which is more secure. The first one is more secure, more control on your code, and more fast. So performance is every time in case of code or anything, performance is the mandatory one. So we'll go with YAML. The recommended way of construction of pipeline is YAML. The both ways are recommended, but the most recommended one is YAML. So let's go to the Azure platform, how it looks like. We just seen the picture. Let's see the real UI of Azure DevOps. So if we go to Azure DevOps, means the URL will be dev.azure.com slash your organization URL. So every Azure DevOps will have a separate organization in which our builds will run, and our deployments will happen. So here, if I go to my organization, I have a lot of projects in it. Let us see what are the features which organization have rather than the projects. So if we go to Azure DevOps, you have in the left bottom there is an organization settings. If you click on that, we can see what are the features organization is providing. The overview is just general description of the organization, who is the owner, what are the projects related to it, and what are the options it have, and what is the URL, what is the description, what time zone, and the server what region it is using. So hereby I'm using East US 2, so it will be going UTC time zone, and my description just like my organization name, and my organization name as name. So if we click on the projects, hereby it will show all of the projects which are running under my organization only. If you go to users, the people who are part of my organization can be visible here. So billing, if you go, in this way the billing is happening in my organization. It will differ from other organizations and to some other organization. It's not same for every organization. Based on the plan it will take, like a basic plan, test basic plus test plans. If it is a free trial, it depends on the trial, or it depends on the version you take in the plan. So auditing, this is not that much useful for everyone. Global notification, how the notifications should work in an organization for all the users, it will be defined here. Global notifications, you can switch on the settings, switch off the settings, whatever the things you want to do can be done in global notifications. So usage, which will give us a glance of reports, how the organization is using daily and whom are using and how the things are happening. And extensions, where we will integrate some third party or other target servers or target deployment platforms from here by using extensions. Azure Active Directory, which is an AD, which can be configured, cannot be configured, it's optional, it depends on the project. And we have some security policies which can be triggered here. If you want any security policy to be switch on, switch off, you can do it here, like third party access via OAuth, like secured way of authentication or SSH authentication needed or not, and additional protection like package registries if you want or not. External guest access, if you enable this, the other people who are not part of the organization can access this with the URL, just like. So permissions, which the organization permissions which will be lot of groups created under this. Based on the group, the permissions will differ. So what else we'll need to know is agent pools, which are the virtual machines or servers inbuilt running with agents like Windows, Linux, whatever the based on the build, will create our agent pools. Under that, agents will run. Agent is just like a server which is running in the Azure DevOps organization. Like settings, deployment pools, these are not that much important. Repositories, which I said Azure repos, and their settings here. And parallel jobs is like at a time multiple jobs can be run in this, but parallel jobs not recommended to be run, so let it be. And these are the organization features where we have multiple projects. In project level also we have so many features which I explained before. Let's see what are the features we have inside. If I go to first project by basic, so I said already boards we have, and under boards we have a lot of features which are boards, backlogs, spends. These are to organize our tickets or user stories or requests based on the client. And repos, which are inbuilt Azure repos, which can be created or which are not recommended also, because most of the cases Azure repos are not that much useful. We'll go with third party repos just like GitHub or Bitbucket or some other repos. So the pipelines which are the most important one for us, And in pipelines, we have a lot of options again. Environments like dev, prod, QA, based on your requirement, will create. The releases is which I said classic one, which are classic pipelines here. You can see everything is optional, I can say. And library, where our secrets, variable groups, whatever we can store from here and call through the pipelines. And test plans, artifacts, which I said, if we want to use external artifacts, we'll configure here. We need to integrate under this here, like connect to feed from the external sources. And inbuilt artifacts will come under the pipelines only. So these are the project level features. And we have internally like organization settings, project settings is there. So if you click on the project settings, we have again multiple settings are there, which are like teams. We can create our own teams based on the project. We will have permissions also here, like permissions under we have multiple groups like build administrators, contributors. Like based on the group level of access, the people will get the access rights based on that. So it should differ for groups, so we have separate groups. And what else we need here is service connections are the base important ones, which can be created to connect with the external sources like cloud sources or some other sources which you want to deploy the things. For target servers can be created service connections here to speak with the target. And what else we have here is the same repositories we can choose here also. What are the repositories created under this project can be visible here, and in the organization all the repositories will be visible. And these are the projects which we have and organization settings. These are the basic level of options which we can see here. And most of the options will come when we start writing our pipelines, when we start writing our build and deployment. And at the basic level these things are enough, I believe. So if anything needed other than this, please comment on our video. We will get back to you with the new features, with the next features. In our next session we'll learn how to write the pipelines, how to write the AML, how to write classic pipelines, how can we trigger our builds in an Azure DevOps, how can we release our things from Azure DevOps to target environments. Let's see what the advanced features in Azure DevOps also in our next sessions. Please connect with us to learn what is Azure DevOps and what it does and how it will be useful in our daily activities of code building and deployment, and how can we make the things faster than the local. So thank you so much for watching us. Thank you. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe us last but not least. Thank you.